what's wrong. Take one guess. They were horrible. Every single one. All of these princes, they're all the same. Snobby, self-importance. Did you just say they are important? Whose side are you on? I don't appreciate your sarcasm right now. And I don't care how important a prince is. I'd sooner marry a frog. Practically the same thing. Slimy, vile creatures. Oh, yes, they are all that bad. I'm not speaking of all princes. Just the ones my father has set me up with. I don't understand how he's deemed them suitable. When I explain to him why I do not wish to wed any, he tells me not to judge a first impression so harshly. But a first impression is all I have. I'm only granted one meeting before I am to be married off. Thank goodness. I couldn't bear to share another moment with any of them. And anyway, I believe first impressions to be very accurate. I have never been wrong. Do you know what my first impression of you was? Kind. Just. Honorable. And all these years later, my mind has not been changed. You are exactly how I first perceived you. In the stables when we were children. You carried me back to the palace after I fell off my horse. Do you remember? And you haven't let me down since. Thank you for waiting here for me. I'm sorry it took so long. I really didn't think it would take more than an hour. But my father invited one of the princes to dine with us. He wasn't as bad as the others. Just very serious. He hardly looked at me, too. He's either shy or he doesn't want to marry me any more than I don't want to marry him. I brought you something. I thought you might be hungry. I hope the loaf hasn't gone stale. Oh, God. You're welcome. It is one of my favorite pleasures, sneaking you food. Next time I will try to bring you something while it's still hot. I wish you could have joined us for supper. It dragged on for so long. I almost feigned a stomachache just to get out of it. These princes like to list off their accomplishments in great detail, with many embellishments. Stories about the wars they've won, or the beasts they have slain. Knowing that you were here waiting for me made supper feel so much longer. I couldn't wait to get back to you. Sometimes I think you're the only one who understands me. There has to be a way to get my father to see things from my perspective. He thinks I'm the snob for turning down so many suitors. But there isn't a single one I would even remotely consider spending the rest of my life with. Is it so horrible that I want to actually like the person I'm spending the rest of my life with? Apparently, that's too much to ask. When I become queen, I will decree a new law so that anyone can marry anyone. Of course, by then it will be too late for me. Apparently, people are starting to talk. Word has gotten out that I am of age and that I have sent every prince from every neighboring kingdom back home. People are beginning to speculate. My father spared me the details. But I think the general consensus is that there is something wrong with me. Do you think there is something wrong with me? You got awfully close just to tell me that. For a second I thought you were going to say yes. This is why you are my best friend. Thank you for listening to me while I complain. I know this is the third time this week that I've whined to you about this in my room. I hope you aren't terribly bored of me. You are the only person I can talk to about it. You don't make me feel guilty or wrong. You don't tell me what to do. I'm very grateful to know you. And I will never stop being grateful. Even if the princes were lovely, I don't think it would make a difference. Because there is only one person I want to be with. I don't care that you aren't royalty. But my father would. I don't care what my father thinks. He is already unhappy with me, so what does it matter? I can't bear the thought of being with anyone but you. If I didn't love you, maybe I could marry one of those awful princes. Because at least then I wouldn't be tortured with longing for somebody else. But I do love you. And I cannot change how I feel. Look at me. Can't you see how tortured I've been? I want it to be you. If I marry, I want it to be you. I always have. Ever since we were children. Splashing in the river, and stealing cakes from the kitchens and hiding in the stables. I've always known that you were the only person I could ever imagine myself with. I know it's forbidden. I don't care. If it isn't you, then it is nobody at all, and I will die unmarried and scorned by society. I know what I want. And nobody can change my mind. I choose you.